Oh, Skycam's still unplugged.
Oh, Skycam. What's up, everybody? It's me, Greg Miller. Welcome to a June 18th recording. It looks like only Jericho's in the chat.
Yep.
Good job. I don't... Oh, you don't even know, probably.
Real quick, Barry, can you change it to red? I think I like red better.
Oh, I meant to do red, sorry.
No, it's okay. Fucking idiot.
God, this kid
I'm
over
kidding,
here.
I like him. I know
I don't
how
know,
hard
man.
this all is.
I don't know why I did this.
You were gonna ask me a question of some sort?
Yeah, but I don't know the answer, and I don't think you would know.
Why I
it.
look so
Joey
tall today?
might know.
It's because the chair's higher than
Hey,
normal.
Joey, can you come here? So we're doing it different, and we're gonna explain that, and we're gonna talk about that. This isn't like, so the way we're doing this isn't like Game Over Greggy or anything, right? Or a Kind of Funny podcast where we're not locking this live stream afterwards, are we? The idea is that we're recording this and leaving it up then for people to watch if they want to before we package it and put them on YouTube, right? Just making sure I understood. Okay, cool. So hey, everybody then, if you have no idea what's happening, it's me, Greg Miller. That's Big Kev Dog. We're about to record episode 1 of the PlayStation VR show, season 2, which is different. Now, we'll explain that on the show because you have to explain that to them. People watching it. The thing about it though, yeah, I'm gonna explain to you how the show is different, but not about this part of how it's different. So if you remember in January, we had the thermometer. We're like, let's hit all these goals, fund a bunch of money, we'll make shows. You said, all right, here's a bunch of money. We made the shows happen. The thing we ran into, if you missed the town hall, was, of course, we set the dates for when these things would premiere, fully intending on hitting them, and in a lot of cases hitting them, and then realizing we'd start cannibalizing ourselves, because as you know, most people don't watch Kind of Funny as a YouTube product, so you put up too many YouTube videos, the YouTube views don't go up, they go down, and nobody watches them. So rather than have Cooking with Greggy and nicknames and love and sex stuff and PSVR show all vying for your viewing time, the idea is to keep them going in their seasonal things, put them out that way. But we didn't want to slip on the deadlines and get them wrong. So what we're doing with the PlayStation VR show is recording them live. So what you are going to see here is the idea of the show, us record the show. There's going to be other things we insert into the show. I'm trying to get interviews and stuff, a few different pieces, and put them then into the real show, unquote. But you're getting the raw recording of the PlayStation VR show. Then weeks from now, if not months from now, you'll see this go up on YouTube as a full package with graphics in the front, lower thirds, interview or whatever, if there's something in the middle, then the ending kind of thing. Yeah. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Do you still have the Falcon Age interview? Because remember we did that
yeah,
back
of course.
Yeah, of course.
Come on.
Yeah, bullshit.
Come on. No, I'm serious.
Okay.
We have a new system now where we store stuff.
Yeah.
It's stored in 2 places. It's on that computer, and it's also on backup storage.
During GDC, the one and only Eka from Outer Loop Games, creator of Falcon Age, came through and explained to me why he's worked on PlayStation VR for so many years. Really interesting interview. Excited to put that one into a later one. The hope here, because I don't mind just telling you everything, the hope here for Blood and Truth is that we'll get Colin, if you lean out of frame, Colin, Zod in Krypton, to come do a Skype interview with us about being Agent Carson. I almost said Carlson, but then Carson. I have him come in and do that. We can insert that one into the show.
A lot of good acting overall.
Dude, save it for the fucking real show.
Is this not the show?
This is not the real show.
What am I doing?
We're getting ready to start the real show right now. You ready?
Hold on.
Bear, don't worry so much, man.
You think he wasn't recording at all?
Why don't? Were you not recording?
No, I'm waiting for you.
Wait, but that doesn't even matter because this archive is what goes live. This is just going to be up on Patreon forever. Yeah. So who cares then?
Okay, why are you yelling?
Because I got scared. There's too many things happening.
I knew that it didn't matter. And I was
hate
hoping you'd get a little scared.
Are we supposed to do breakfast tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm down.
Because we can put in the bacon order and get free bacon.
I mean,
but the problem is
we'll
like later.
We can do both.
I love this guy.
Bacon.
Love this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You're recording?
Yeah.
I can go whenever now?
Give me 2 seconds. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, please take your time. I'm gonna take Barrett down to the old town road. I'm gonna ride it like ain't no more. Ain't nobody. How many hats you got, Barrett? It's like one of your. It's part of your signature look.
Yeah.
That and shirt's like buttoned all the way up.
Yeah. It's just this one.
Really?
I usually just go in phases of different.
Just one hat till you wear it.
Yeah. Until I wear them down.
Sure.
And they're not usable anymore.
Sure. There. You see, that's the Barrett hat for right now.
Yeah.
If you're watching this months from now, maybe the new hat's been put into rotation, or maybe Barrett's dead. Rest in peace.
Oh, it's a little peace sign.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride.
Almost done.
Dude, take your time. I got nothing to do. You talking to Paula? Nick?
And my mom.
Oh, they're on the same chain?
No. God, no. 2 separate chains, same information.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Could have saved, some time. 2 birds with 1 stone if you put them on the same thing.
You don't put fire next to gas.
Great point. That's a great point right there. All right, here we go, everybody.
Let's do it. Woo.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the PlayStation VR Show Season 2, the show that showcases the best that PlayStation VR has to offer. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Big Kev Dog, Kevin Coella. Say hi. There it is. All right. Whoa, he's got it shaken up. Kev, this is the PlayStation VR Show, of course. Season 2, as we said. And it's a very different show than it was last time around. As you may recall, last time around, we went to my house, got all sweaty.
A lot of fun.
Playing a lot of PlayStation VR there, doing Let's Plays and stuff like that.
Really bored a lot of the time.
You were?
Yeah, because I didn't really need to be there, but I was.
Sure. It's kind of like your MO.
No, you guys asked me to go.
Am I right,
didn't
Bear?
want to.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Bear knows what I'm talking about over there.
Because it's just that I just need to be there for setup, make sure everything works, and then I can be like, all right, well, I guess I'll just stand here for 6 hours.
Sure. Well, you played a lot of VR too. I was looking back through the hashtag today. There was a lot of good videos of you on there doing some stuff, playing Sprint Vector. All this. The idea of the PlayStation VR Show, of course, was that I love PlayStation VR. I had gotten inspired going to, what was it, E3 last year?
That sounds right. Didn't they have a VR event where they were like showing a bunch of cool stuff?
Yeah, that was part of it too, where I was like, holy shit, PlayStation VR is about to have a big moment. I want to make sure we're still covering it and being a part of it and showcase basically the best games that have happened since launch back then, because we covered it really well at launch, and then everybody kind of fell off. Since then, and I'm not saying since the launch of PlayStation VR, I was just call it as I saw it, and sure enough, it went big with Moss and Beat Saber and a million other things. It's had a hell of a year. So we put on in January, patreon.com/kindoffunny and Kinda Funny Games, the thermometer, raise money, bring back a bunch of different shows, and do seasonal content for them. So PlayStation VR Show back, season 2, 8 episodes of it. And same idea, let's showcase the best that PlayStation VR has to offer, but do it more in a podcasty format. The Let's Play, especially because we didn't do it right last time around, full disclosure.
That's your opinion. I thought we nailed it.
Well, it was the thing of, hey, let's jump into these games we've never played, right? Like, I know this is cool from a demo. Or whatever.
No, that was a totally dumb way to do it.
And so it's like, we could do it where I play a little bit and then try to teach somebody all these different things. VR is also a weird one, and I figure...
Yeah, the medium doesn't translate well over video.
This is Kinda Funny. What is Kinda Funny known for? It's known for podcasting. It's known for PlayStation podcasting. Why not do the PlayStation VR Show more as just a discussion every week for 8 weeks about games we think are standout and things that you should know about in terms of what's happening on PlayStation VR. So that's what we're doing. Of course, you can get it at youtube.com/kindafunnygames. You can get it early on patreon.com/kindafunnygames. So early, you could be watching it months before as we recorded it.
Whoa.
It's a whole story
just
about
like
how that's
Jericho.
working. Just like Jericho's doing the chat right now. And then also, we're going to put it up as an audio podcast as well.
Yeah?
The idea, I think, right now is just to put it on Patreon and have it be there that you can go and get it and stuff like that.
That's cool.
There was a brief idea of what if we resurrected the PS I Love You XOXO feed and put it on there, but I feel like that would be too much turmoil. I don't feel like that kind of, I don't feel like that. I don't want to get people's hopes up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It ends, it's done. What do you got?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today, Big Kev Dog, we're talking about Blood and Truth.
Yep.
Here's your back of the box rundown. Developed by, of course, London Studio, PlayStation London, SIE London, whatever you want to call them. They're London Studio. These guys, of course, known for doing the VR Worlds demo, the Getaway, London doing a whole bunch of cool stuff.
The Getaway ended up being this, right?
Well, I'm talking about the old Getaway game. Then
wasn't there a VR?
There was a VR one too that was the demo and stuff, and that they put on that was part of the VR Worlds demo and all that jazz. And then it was their proof of concept pretty much.
It evolved
for this, right?
into this.
Of course, Blood and Truth came out on May 28th, 2019. Right now, as we record on June 18th, the Metacritic sitting at 80. A hot 80. That's a good one for it. Our boy David Jagno over at Upload VR reviewed it quite positively and closed his review with this. Despite the sometimes frustrating movement system and occasional pacing issues, Blood and Truth is a tour de force for PlayStation VR. Sony's London studio should be proud of what they've accomplished here by turning the brief London heist demo from the PlayStation VR Worlds into a fully fledged narrative that features some of the best performances we've seen in VR yet. The action is pulse-pounding and so bombastic it rivals even the biggest summer blockbusters. This one is easily recommended to any PSVR owner that likes to shoot bad guys and watch stuff blow up. Of course, we love David, frequent contributor to Kinda Funny Games Daily. He was part of the showcase in terms of making his own showcase. And then, of course, just to future-proof, may he rest in peace.
R.I.P.
Kevin, the way I see these shows breaking down as we talk about title by title, right? As you can see, I put one right here. Why is Blood and Truth a great PlayStation VR game?
It's an excellent question.
Thank you.
I think what this game does very well is that it's not just your on rails shooting.
Mm-hmm.
It brings you through so many different things through VR where it's like when you start it, you're just kind of going like, okay, click there, go there, and then soon it's like, oh, now you have to climb this thing, and it's like, oh, look at that, you know?
Right.
And I think they do a really good job introducing different aspects of VR. Like eventually, you flying a little drone around.
Yeah. I mean, for me, that's the first bullet point I put in my notes because I played Blood and Truth pre-review, so leading up to the May 28th release date. And yes, I'm so fried from E3 that I have to look at the date. Played it beforehand. Loved it. It's a game that I do want to platinum. I want to get back to, but obviously got taken away by E3 and a million other games. Last night, put it back on to get refamiliarized and what are my talking points again. And for sure, the first thing I put on there is the variety of things you are doing. Right? I think when it dropped at a bad time in terms of how we do content, where the Gamescast I think was E3 predictions, then it was E3. Like I haven't had a chance to actually talk about how much I love Blood and Truth and how much I recommend it. And when I was talking to Tim about it, one of the things I was bringing up, and this is before the show, was the idea of like, this is like the evolution of the light gun games you'd play in the arcade of like Mad Dog or whatever, right? Where like the guy would come out and talk. Like, yeah, of course. Yeah. And that I think when you say that makes it sound immediately, oh, I know what that is. That's a light gun limited game. When in reality, what I'm saying is this is the next step of that, where it is the variety of combat, of weapon choice, of reloading, of it working the way you think it should, right? Blood and Truth is the tired story I've said a million times about PlayStation VR of one of those oh shit it clicks and works moments where during the first demo I ever did of it, when you're rigging the bombs in the casino, you hear I had my head down, I heard thunk thunk, and I looked up and the grenade was right there, and I just went oh shit, grabbed it and threw it back at the guy, and it all worked.
Really cool.
And you're like, whoa, wait a second, that fucking worked. And so yes, it is the gunplay, but it's also the lock picking, right? Mm-hmm. It is also just the spray painting that isn't a mechanic, but you do it once. It's fucking around in the museum. It's climbing. It's skydiving. It's all these different things.
To me, it seems like the developers had a lot of fun developing the VR aspect of like doing different things.
Yeah.
Like, why did they have the paint gun thing or the spray paint?
Yeah.
It was because they were like, you know, it'd be cool. Let's do this, and like it. I think that they did all of it like pretty well.
Yeah. And it's, David in his little thing I read the throne, he talks a little bit about like the pacing, right? Being occasionally off or whatever. But I really dug that. And it was in the beginning a real hard shift of, wait, I haven't shot this gun in a long time. I'm just wandering around talking to people and listening to people. And it wasn't until I think I got deeper in the game where I was getting the shooting and everything else I wanted, where it was like, oh man, this is trying to be so much more than just a fun shooter.
Yeah.
This is trying to be, we talk about all the time of like taking games we know, putting them into VR and what that means and how that fails. And it's good for a VR game in the same way we used to talk about it's good for a downloadable game. Right. This is the first game I've played where I'm like, oh, you're being your own thing. You're doing things we haven't seen, which at first can feel weird. You don't think about it that you're in the cutscene, right? You're playing a VR game. I'm playing a game, but you're literally in the cutscene. So people are looking at you and talking to you.
That was such an interesting thing. Having like the fact that they would follow you with their eyes was like those little touches like made it seem like it was. You felt like you were in the moment, you know?
Yeah. So if you haven't played, ladies and gentlemen, I obviously would warrant you to do it. But the idea here is that you are Ryan Marks, the soldier. That the bad guys will shout at you over and over again, like, no shit, I've shot all your friends in the head.
It kind of makes you feel cool.
Sure, of course. Yeah, I know. It's got to
badass.
You come back to town, jolly old London, as they say. Your father, dead. Heart attack, right? But is it a heart attack? Who knows? It is a heart attack. But then, like, there's...
Is it?
Wasn't it? I forget.
I didn't get to the end, remember?
I'm pretty sure it was part of it. Then, we have Tony coming up, this other crime boss in the area. Your dad was into no good stuff. He starts trying to force your family out. There's this whole thing with an agent trying to turn you over. But what I love about this story is that it does such a great job of anchoring you in Ryan's shoes and making me like his brother and his sister and his mom, right? They're the other main characters. Even Agent Carson, played by Krypton's Colin Salmon, like sitting there and talking to them and listening to them. And then, what I love about it is that I'm playing the game like, oh, I'll be silent. Oh, I'm not silent. Ryan's voice acted. Like, you know what I mean? He says things. I'm along for the ride in his head, making his actions, but not making his dialogue choices. But it works because it does totally give off that vibe of like Ryan and Nick, like the fuck about brother, right? Like, the London version of Nick Scarpino. Like, that's cool, and I like Nick, right? And in the same breath, like I like his sister a lot, Michelle. Like she's funny and good and doesn't take her brother's shit and is smart and fits into it. Even his mom Anne, like it
the
works
mom
as a
being
dynamic.
like the way they built the mom, where she was like, no, he's not gonna get involved. He doesn't fuck around with this shit, and everyone just being like, well, he's gonna, because we need to take care of this. I thought that like the dynamic they built with everyone was so good.
Yeah. And that's. I know not relationship building and putting you in things. It's not like unheard of. Obviously, video games depend on that and do it. But again, from that perspective of VR, that is something I'm not used to. And I know we're both playing Vader, right, on Oculus Quest.
Haven't played it yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was it Barrett?
Yeah, Barrett was playing it.
And like that's a similar thing of like we're in for a story and we're being told a story from the first person, but it's still so new and so fresh, especially for PlayStation VR, especially this well done. Yeah. This AAA of a pedigree.
This like the when you're infiltrating the art gallery, that whole thing is about like building a relationship with your brother. Yeah. And they made it really fun. Like I remember when it ended after you've shot paint at the
Tony's paintings.
Yeah, big paintings, and then you can give the finger to Tony as you're driving out. Like as we got to they're drinking beers, and you can pick up the beer and drink it too. Yeah, and it was like that was fun, you know. And they're both having the dialogue of like, oh man, I haven't had this much fun in a long time. Yeah, and like you really felt it.
Yeah, and like spoilers, we didn't talk about it. I'm gonna spoil the game. Nothing, but again, it's an action movie.
No, Greg, I'm like 80% through.
I'm already spoiled the part you already know.
I'm kidding. It's fine.
Like when you save the mom and like the way Anne's talking to you and stuff, and like, oh God, don't do this. Okay, God, blah, blah. I didn't want you to come here. And then at the end, when she gets shot in front of you, like it's a graphic death for her, and it carried weight because I did like her and I did like the family. Let alone when my sister shows up and we tell her, she sees it. I have to tell her about the brother later on. Like they do a great job of telling a real video game AAA story.
Does the brother die?
Yeah, spoilers on that one. You should have beaten it last night. You were so close.
No, I don't care about the spoilers. I'm just bummed because that's a great character. I loved him.
Yeah. Like they do a really fantastic job of making me feel and care in VR, which isn't something that doesn't happen, but in this fledgling tech and building
I don't know.
blocks.
Has it happened yet? Like I can't think of a game that I played where it's like the story was like such an important part of it.
Like relationship wise, I think Moss has something going for it, but not the same vein. Sure, you know what I mean? Not the same thing. And again, we haven't played everything, so I'm never quick to paint with that broad of a brush. But I do think this is a major step forward for it. And like, so we talked about it, but the acting's superb. The facial capture's amazing. I think they do a lot of different things in terms of flashing you back and putting you forward. Your conversations with the agent played by Colin, right? Like, those are interesting. And, like when he wants to shake your hand and get you on board and stuff, you're like, I don't know, I just trust this guy, but whatever. And it's the same thing of... Sorry, go ahead.
Do you know if you could change story aspects by making different decisions?
There's not like the left or right A and B choices, but like you cannot shake his hand.
There are like, hey, there's two diverging paths. Which way should I go?
Sure.
Up or down, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that affected anything.
That doesn't change the story. That changes like what you'd find or what weapon might be there, or if you're going to get a collectible or something to that effect, right? Like that's the reason that's there.
There was also the, at some point you're... chasing down Tony's brother in a hotel,
right? When you're running after him, right? And
at the end, it seemed like
shoot him.
Okay, yeah. So it was the other dude coming in and shooting him was the only option.
No, you can shoot him. That the game does that part of it. Okay, really interestingly, and that was what you're talking about there, where you're running through and then jumping through the glass after the guy gets shot. Yeah. That was the first demo I ever saw for it or played it, and it was very much there like. When he is there, you can shoot him from the beginning, and then that guy's going to come out, and you get the information, or you can not, and blah, blah. Either way, you end up at the same point of the next thing. And it's similar to the very, very end, which I'm also going to spoil for you because I think it's so well done, right? You confront Tony on the plane, right? The whole deal is like, that there's people pulling the strings on Tony and everything else, and there's all this stuff. You already got to the part where you're tied to a chair?
No, I don't think I got
no big
there.
deal, then we'll leave it on. But when you get to the plane, right, like you infiltrate his jet, you've done all the stuff you're in the middle of doing, you've broken out of that, you've done all the shit, blah, blah, blah. You eventually, infiltrate the plane in the air, get to him, and it's totally that moment of like, he's sitting there, I think he's drinking, he's just like, all right, man, yeah, you got me. Like, there's no one else. You've killed everybody. What are you going to do? And there's a bunch of different trophies for how you play that. So I've gone back and replayed it a bunch of times. And you can sit there and let him talk the entire time and choose not to shoot him. You can shoot him immediately. You can shoot him with specific body parts. Like
But does he always get shot?
I'm not going to tell you that. You have to finish the game to find out that part. He does not always get shot. but he does not live in any of the scenarios.
Oh, whoa.
There you go. You know what I mean? And so
the old fork to the eyeball, huh? What?
Barrett, it's a tale as old as time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to use a lot of
Fork in
pressure,
the
but eventually
eyeball.
you'll get the job done.
God.
A lot of pressure?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because like the eye, you can live with an eye that's been poked out.
Oh, you mean kill, like
Yeah,
jam the
you
thing.
gotta-
I was like,
you gotta jam
your
it in the
eyeball
roll.
doesn't need that much
Let's
pressure.
move on.
Anyways, no, they give you those little things, and this
Yeah.
is one of the big things about the game that I think it does so well. And I'm usually, you know, a one and done kind of guy. I think the action moment to moment is so much fun. I think there are the divergent paths, not in terms of a storyline, but in terms of what you're going to do.
Which I think makes it really fun for replayability.
Yes, you're nailing
You know?
it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like what I think it took me. It was 2 play sessions, like 5 hours, maybe 4.5 to play through it or whatever.
Yeah, I probably played for 4 hours last night.
Right.
But like, I really like taking my time.
Sure.
I felt really good about how many collectibles I had gotten
me
by the
too.
time. Yeah.
And that's the thing about it where I want to platinum this not just for the trophy, but because I really do enjoy the gameplay. Last night, jumping back in, it was like, oh, I forgot how much fun this is. And especially when you go back and replay stuff, you go to the safe house and you choose any of your weapons. What do you want? How do you want to mod them? How do you want to, take on this situation?
Does it eventually have like a level select or?
Yeah.
Okay.
If
cool.
you were to quit out right now, I think you'd have it in your extras menu where you can go through and replay stuff early or
Okay.
see how many stars you got or what your high
Right,
score
right,
is.
right.
But they've done a great job
Those
of
stars are so satisfying.
I know,
too.
right?
You turn around and you're like, ha!
Popping.
There's a target right there.
And that's the thing is they've done something not unheard of in video games, but still very rare in VR, PlayStation VR in particular, of great story, great gameplay, great replayability. Like it'll probably and Beat Saber notwithstanding, be like the most played, maybe the most hours I'll sink into a VR game on my PlayStation VR. That sounds wrong, but I can't think of a
Beat
better
Saber's
example right now.
Yeah, it's not
Well, that's why I
even
say
close.
Beat Saber.
No, I know.
Beat Saber's far and
then
away
also
number
I have
one.
Tetris too.
Oh yeah, I don't.
But I
count.
don't think you're
know.
gonna go back in Tetris.
I already did.
Oh,
Remember
yeah?
when I had played it at launch, and then when we got into 99, I went back and did more Ultimate. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's a game that I'm getting a lot of life out of in a way, and I'm not bored with, and I don't feel that I'm like I wasn't itching to go back.
Yeah.
Like I loved when I played, and then we got moved on, and it was E3 and a million things. But last night I was like, all right, pop, and it was like a minute in, like, oh right, I forgot how much fun this is.
The controls are interesting.
Yeah,
Where it took me a minute to get used to
you're
it.
playing with move ones.
Yeah. But once I had it down, it was very much like, oh yeah, this all makes sense, and
100%.
it's
So if you haven't played this before, you have 2 handgun holsters, one on each hip. You have an ammo pouch in the center of your chest that is all your ammo you grab and shove into whatever gun you are. And then you have like basically shoulder slots where you can put a shotgun or a machine gun or whatever.
now that you're saying that, I did have a problem with the shoulder slot.
Yeah, they're finicky, I felt.
It never worked well. I was often shooting when I was trying to put it back.
Yeah.
But the other holsters were fine.
That's what I found with the shoulder ones too, is that you'd go back and like I'd feel it vibrate like it's there, and then
Yeah.
I'd do it and I'd be
And it
off
was
now
too
by a
late,
minute.
yeah.
I was like, okay, well, whatever,
Yeah.
no big deal. But
It's not like sneaking is.
I mean, honestly, I feel like I was using, the silenced pistol with the green sight, and it was like, this feels not OP, but it does feel like this is totally
This is
all
how
I need.
you should be playing
This is
it.
all
Yeah.
I need.
Although once you get the submachine gun, like that would be my go-to weapon. But you don't have the option to take it with you everywhere.
And it's worth pointing out too. So let me run down my list here of like what I think makes it a great PlayStation VR game. Make sure I'm knocking on. The one thing we haven't talked about is the music. I think the music's awesome. Like in terms of that. And like
It feels very much Fast and the Furious kind of.
for me, it's like it's a more modern Bond, right? Or it's a spy.
Yeah, that's better.
Kind of not a spy movie, but it's
The whole game actually really reminds me to the Great America 007 like action ride that you could go on, where it was like you would watch a movie and the seats would vibrate.
Okay.
Not vibrate, but like full on move and shake. If Tim was here, he'd know what I'd be talking
I'm sorry,
about.
yeah,
no,
he's
it's
gone now.
fine. It's
He'll
fine.
never be here for you again. No, I think the music's really well done, but what I think the music does is play into exactly what I think this image is, what these colors are. Like the game has a sense of style and a motif that is there the whole time. That is this action adventure Bond spy movie, whatever you want to call it. Like where it is, and it is I'm running and I'm jumping through the plate glass window to the outside. I'm running and a helicopter is chasing me, so you jump in the air and you shoot the canister to blow it up and take out these 2 guys, right? Where I wanted to jump out of that, right? The first question I think for every one of these shows is going to be, why is it a great PlayStation VR game, right? Then I think it is, why isn't it a great video game, right? And that's not to say, it's basically pros and cons, but I do think it's interesting of when we talk about VR, it is like I mentioned way earlier of there is that bit of IGN circa 2008 where we're like, it's good for a downloadable game, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's things we forgive in this, in
Absolutely.
a VR experience.
And I think that like for me, the biggest thing was I had a bunch of issues with the like controls just not working perfectly.
Yeah.
Like if the way it would do it is when you calibrate, it would be like, all right, touch your chest, touch your sides. So I was on my like a rolly chair.
Yeah.
And I moved back, and now my chest was over here. So I had to like try to stay same orientation with my body so that my holsters were in the right place. A couple of the times I found that my holster, like I had moved to the left, so my holster was further to my like than I thought it would be.
Sure.
So I'd go to grab it and be like, "What's going on?" And I'd look down and be like, "Oh, I guess I moved at some point."
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not trying to be an asshole. Did you recalibrate? You hold the options button, and it'll recenter to wherever you are now.
Well, what's my job? Am I not the guy that makes sure all the technical stuff
apologize,
works?
Kevin.
Yeah,
That was a stupid
yeah.
question. That was a stupid
I recalibrated.
question.
I recalibrated.
I'm trying to save you from what the comments are saying.
Fuck them. They're wrong if they're putting that in the comments. I recalibrated multiple times. You know?
I do
I
know,
was in
Kev.
there. I recalibrated so that I was standing up.
Yeah.
Because I like the sensation of wanting to duck
Sure.
under cover. Not that I know that cover worked that way.
It did.
It did it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Like if you calibrate, I think it calibrates to you standing up as if your character's standing up, so then you can get lower or do whatever. But for sure, like
The problem with that is whenever we'd go to a cutscene with
the fam.
yeah. Anyone really. I was much higher than I should be.
You're talking about with Colin,
yeah,
where like
where
you'd
he-
be way below the desk or way above it.
Yeah. Or maybe I was at the right place, but it felt wrong because I was I don't know. If I try to sit down, I would be way too low. Maybe that was what.
Well, this plays into my thing too. I'm sorry, you got more on that?
Yeah, but I lost it.
It plays. We're in the same vein, I think. Plays more into my why isn't it a great video game? Like taking VR out of it or anything. Where I think it does come off. It's rare that I was challenged in the game, right? Like I feel like I die very few and far between, and it was the whole thing of I'm taking a lot of shots. I would just crouch down and get really low behind the thing and load and wait for my screen to go away from being blackout or black.
You could do this.
Yeah, like you can use cover that way.
That's cool.
But then it's like the AI isn't that kind of aggressive.
Yeah.
And not that it needs to be.
Now, did you play it on the normal mode or did you go cinematic?
I'm playing normal mode.
Okay.
Which is the one that's like the normal difficulty.
that's the normal
Cinematic's the
difficulty.
easiest
It's
one.
easy,
yeah.
yes.
And while we were talking about this, I cranked it up because I know they are doing free DLC.
Oh,
and I
that's cool.
believe we're also happy to confirm today, this is off the PlayStation blog, we'll be supporting the game with free DLC post-launch, such as online leaderboards, new time attack and score challenges, new game plus, and additional hard mode for those of you who want to up the ante. I think that would go a long way into just one of my complaints is that I don't think it's, oh my God, this is so easy. I think it's, oh my gosh, this is fun.
Yeah.
Like it's
Absolutely.
At no point, I was always worried about getting into a situation where I'm like, I shouldn't have switched weapons. This weapon sucks and these guys are hard. Like, I was always fine with my weapon choice. And
Even when you had the shotgun? Because I found that with the shotgun, I'd always be like, fuck. The shotgun's great, but you get 2 pumps and that's it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, all right, let me try to get this right while people are shooting at me.
Yeah.
And it's just
But that's why you gotta hunch down.
Yeah.
Get all small, get all low.
I didn't
Crunch your
realize
little
I could
ball.
hunch. I was like were you standing the entire time?
No, I sat on the edge of the couch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another issue that I wanted to bring up.
Sure.
We ready to move on to the
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is all the same thing.
I don't like that I wasn't able to put my height into the game. And it's just weird being that tall. Because this man is like a 6'5".
Hey, man, you're role playing. You know what I mean? VR puts you in his shoes.
Felt right, and I was
Don't
like,
you
"Why am I
wanna know?
fucking floating 2 feet higher than I?"
Don't you want to know what it's like to get the cookies on the top shelf, Kev?
I jump on the shelf. It's fine. On the counter. I jump on the counter.
That wasn't a problem for
Yeah.
me, but I can understand where
It
that
was
would
disorienting.
Yeah. That's weird. I've never thought about that with VR, like giving you that.
This is my first time where like it didn't like calibrate or it didn't feel right.
It didn't
Yeah.
feel naturally interesting. That's really, really interesting.
The whole time I was like, I bet Greg's not noticing this.
No, not at all. Yeah. For me, the complaints were I thought that it was a little too easy, but again, it's fun, and I think the fact that they've already, this is from launch day on the 28th of May, where they're like, we're gonna add it eventually down the line.
Yeah.
Maybe it's even out by the time this episode hits, because again, we're filming these a little ahead of time. Awesome. So they're already trying to take care of that. There were the moments of like, not suspending your disbelief, but where I felt like it was the bad parts of the light gun games, where you'd be coming around a corner and you kind of see the guy's shoulder pop in. Like, I feel like you'd see the guy pop, like where he's about to come from over there. You know what I mean? Like, and again, it's not bad because it sets me up to feel like a badass because I'm John Wick and I'm
and like I feel like that's what you're supposed to. So those little moments, I'd be more forgiving. The biggest one I had that was a real, like, I feel like a legit eye roll of like, oh, this, okay, was in the museum, bonding with your brother, which is great, except for the fact the way they load each part of the level. Oh,
where your brother would be like, all right, come on, man. And he'd walk in front of you and then the door would close behind him and you have to wait for the door to automatically open on its own. And it would be a couple seconds where you're like, all right, I get what's going on, but like, I'm starting to feel and notice that, all right, I'm playing a game that's trying to figure this tech out or do something different with it.
Yeah, it also didn't make any sense storyline. Like, why would your brother leave you?
Yeah, just keep leaving you in every other room.
But I guess it did set up the mannequin room.
The mannequin room, it paid off for.
Gonna be honest, fucking terrifying. I hated it. I went in there and I was like, maybe I'll just keep my eyes closed. I don't really have to do much, but I guess I have to click A when, or not A, but the
move button.
Move button.
Yeah.
And,
What did you...
the first time I was like staring up so it didn't pop out and scare me. The second time, it fucking got me.
If you walk into a pitch black room and there's mannequins on their phones, they get their faces lit up and your brother there ready to scare you, just as you know Nick Marks would. What a clown, you know? How did you feel about the movement system? Because when I turned, I think it's more into the category for me of why it's a great game. I didn't stop me or worry about it. But when you start, it's not on rails in terms of you can't control it, but you basically are pointing and selecting when you want, where you want to go. But once you go to a certain point, you can't go backwards on certain things.
You do have the option too to hit like, what is it, square?
Strafe, strafe
or strafe right or left, depending on what your setup is.
Yeah.
At first, I didn't like it. And I was like, oh, it's really kind of what a simple way to solve the movement issue.
Yeah.
But then, like maybe 30 minutes in, I really got into it and I was like, oh, this actually makes a lot of sense. And then they also throw in the different mechanics for like climbing and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought were like, made it, it all flowed really well.
Yeah, I never felt like it was on rails in an annoying fashion. And it was also very rare where I felt like it was a detriment to me. And even then it was just like, oh, there was a collect. Oh, I can't get back. I can't go back for the collectible. Because it's, you point and go and do your thing and then stop and then you have to replay the level. But again, a reason for you to replay, which I understand and respect, right? I want as much as you can out of this game to go through or run it all down. I had a great time.
Did you shoot all the hoops?
The
trash
targets?
Can?
Oh, did I? I didn't shoot them all. I got the one for the trophy.
There's just one.
Huh?
There's just one for like you only
just
need
one for the trophy. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got that one. But like, there's another one in your
there's
like
a bunch.
safe house.
Yeah. Well,
I remember seeing like 3. I think
when you hit it, it did like the did the lights and stuff.
But like, I couldn't get the one in my safe house. I tried for so long. That mechanic just does not seem
for
like
me. Yeah, throwing anything forward, grenade,
including the grenade. Yeah,
I don't use the grenades in the game mostly because it is like I'll do it and it's like I'm like here's a perfect dark. God damn it! You know, it is right in front of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ball. What I did is I held on to the paper ball in the safe house, and then went over as close as you can to it, and then shows the stairs. And so then I walk right by it. And I went like that and dropped it.
That's like as I was doing that yesterday. I was like, I should have grabbed the ball because it's right there.
Yeah. And I love the safe house mechanic of like here's a collection of your trophies that are the VR World trophies, the collectible vaping things or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. They put that in there because you don't see people. Video games usually stay far away from smoking as they can.
Yeah.
Remember when the Game Awards were all about like anti-vaping stuff?
Yeah, and then remember when Hydro Dickman came in and he's like, you know what? Blades.
Dickman?
No, shtick.
I know.
Hydro
I heard it.
Shick.
Did you do the vaping?
Oh yeah.
It's shocking how like because that feels about right.
Yeah.
And it's just like, whoa. And like he breathes too, and like I was just because like automatically when I like pretend to vape, I'm and then like then you hear the noise in the game, and it's just like what the fuck is going on?
I'm crazy.
This is good.
You're crazy. Yeah. Now where are you with it? Because this question, why is it a great PlayStation VR game? Why is it not a great video game? Earlier it sounded like you were a bit more lukewarm on it than I am.
So my problem is with the pacing as well. I like it a lot. But I do think that I think that like there's so many parts where it's like you're in this cutscene and it's like, I don't really care about the story. I want to play the game.
Yeah.
And the cutscenes are long, or can feel a little long.
Yeah,
or
can't
kind
skip
of
them.
silly. Yeah, you can't skip them at all. Like
even on replay, which I thought was interesting.
The scenes with what's this guy's here? Zod? Colin. They just seem a little wacky.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, why is he just telling this story to this special ops agent that found him somewhere?
Yeah.
You know? It's weird that like after a brief conversation, he's like, all right, I'll tell you the story. And then like gets recruited, whatever.
And I do wonder, and obviously I've talked to the London guys a lot over my career. It will be interesting one day to get them in here for an interview and talk to them about it, because it does feel a bit. When did this agent character and the more overarching narrative that there's like somebody pulling the strings on Tony, there's a higher power of evil kind of thing going on, when did that get introduced? Because it does feel like in a lot of ways, all right, Colin, who's on Krypton, people know his face, he's been in a bunch of stuff, he does feel a bit not tacked on, but inserted in an interesting way. He's not the main story at all. Even the very end, like he's there, I really feel, to set up Blood and Truth 2. I wonder if it was that we have this great thing about, you're going up against Tony, and they're like, this
honestly,
is fucking killing.
It builds a great way to like not just have like time jumps, where it's like you're telling a story to this guy and now you're reliving the story.
Yeah.
But the dialogue seemed off. That being said, the acting from everyone, I'm thinking back to make sure, like, as far as everyone that like was really good. I was telling you, I really, really enjoyed Tony. And anytime, like when he does that video and he's just like, you're fucked. I was just like, I like this guy.
And that's the same thing when I was talking to you about the end of like, just letting him monologue. I was like, fuck yeah, go. I want to hear everything you have to say, because I do think he's a great character and there's so much great
And it wasn't just him. It was literally everyone. I enjoyed like the way that their performances were.
Yeah. Hopefully. We'll get a sequel with more of them. Hopefully,
no
they'll
Nick,
talk to
though,
us.
You telling me?
Well, maybe you never know. You'll see. It's a little fishy. Maybe something else happened there, but maybe, just maybe, damn it, maybe just maybe, Kevin, we'll talk to Colin about the game right now. But again, person watching live, I don't know if that interview will get done in time. So
Barry, can you get a time code for
32
minutes?
32.
Yeah.
And if not, then we'll
somehow send that to Cool Greg and save it for several months.
Just Slack it to me. It's not that. I don't know if we're that far out.
Okay, we'll see if the Slack ever gets back to Cool Greg.
Don't worry about it so much, Kev Dog. All right, have some fun with your life.
You gonna insert ads too?
No, this isn't sponsored. This is a Patreon show. This is seasonal content. All because of you. Thank you for your support, everybody watching live. And then we just come on back, right? So yeah, I love this game. And you know who else loves it? Ignacio Rojas, who wrote in to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, just like you can, to support us and be part of the PlayStation VR show, and says, this game has easily become my favorite VR game, a title previously held by Superhot. What I love about this game is that it's not just your typical VR game, just a concise experience. Blood and Truth gives you more. It gives you a lengthy campaign with an immersive gameplay. If you think you can do it, you probably can. Move your body behind cover. Take your gun from where it's supposed to be on your body. Close one eye while aiming for better precision. Grab onto a ledge and pull yourself up. Also, am I the only one who finds themselves twirling the guns all the time?
Twirling the guns?
I forgot all about that mechanic and the whole, like, do the devil horns, flick things off.
Yeah.
Forgot all about that until I had finished the game and I went to look at the trophy list. And they were like, because there's a trophy for spin a pistol and then immediately kill somebody. And I was like, what? And you went back in there and sure enough, I think it's triangle and you spin it around and it goes, yeah.
Triangle is the one that also does the hand signals.
Then it's the other one then.
Okay.
And it's always weird. Yeah, I guess it would be circle, maybe is what I'm thinking of.
Up here?
Well, no,
because
X
triangle's
is here.
This guy. Triangle's up here.
Yeah, so circle here? I don't know, whatever.
Man.
One of the buttons.
We got move ones right there.
It's natural when you hold it. You spin around that way, shoot him in the head and stuff, yeah. I'm sorry, back to Ignacio though. I love how cool this game makes you feel. I think Greg described the game the best. It's like a James Bond movie where you're actually James Bond. My only criticism is that the highway levels can get way too hard. I had to restart the last highway mission at least 15 times. Other than that, I highly recommend it.
The highway missions.
Whenever you're in the car shooting stuff as you drive.
Yeah.
Again, that's the same thing though, where I did take a lot of damage there, but all I would do is just go get underneath it, fill my gun, wait for the color to come back into the game, then pop back up and shoot them. Also, I forgot, we didn't even talk about it. I mean, we're not, obviously, the assumption is you've played this before. If you hit both move buttons, you can slow down time. And I didn't even think to do that until, like, again, there was a trophy for, like, kill somebody on the thing. Like, oh, fuck, I could have been freezing time this whole time.
The freezing time thing it's a clutch move because like especially when you've got the heavy armor people coming in, it's like you gotta shoot them at the knees first.
Yeah, that's a fun one where it's like knee, face, or whatever.
What was I gonna say? Oh, the highway one. I really enjoy the first time we see the highway, which is in like
with the very beginning, pretty much, right? Where you're getting out of
some desert
wherever.
place.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you've been serving.
And because the experience I had was interesting, because until then I was like, oh, this game's really easy, and then it like I felt like that was a little bit more challenging for me as well, because you got to be moving around, looking at stuff, and then also I accidentally killed Deacon.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that was like
I think I did too. Actually, now that you mention it,
like. You can kill these people. You are interacting with them, and it was like another layer of like, this is well done.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Period. Because of course I'm happy with a good game. I'm really happy it delivered. Because this is one I saw at I think that event we talked about forever ago, which was a Gamescom thing, I think was where I came out of, wherever it was. And I was like, PlayStation VR is going to be awesome. We have to talk more about it. But there it was, that thing of like, this is awesome. I hope it holds up. And, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. But it delivered on that demo and it went the entire way. And it's one of the games I can't recommend enough on PlayStation VR.
Another question for you. Do you know if you can use the gun?
No, because you need both sticks, right? Because you have two hands.
Oh.
I think, yeah. I'd never even bother trying. I think you can use either the DualShock or you can use the two wands.
I had another small issue that I want to quickly bring up, where I didn't feel like the move wands lend themselves well to be handles, like gun handles, because I feel like the angle is slightly off.
Oh, yeah, no, I think I agree with that.
So it was where I expect, like when you're aiming a gun, the way it's going is slightly different than what the move handle does.
Yeah, that's a VR thing in general I've had, or I guess I should say PlayStation VR thing in general.
With the move gun, or I don't even know what it's called.
It's we had this conversation before. I always want to call it the
recently
PlayStation Move one. Barrett, Google me what the damn gun is.
Maybe chat saying it.
Nah, they're not that fast.
Super
and I mean, because there's a delay, not because you're slow. You're slow.
A bunch of dum-dums when he's calling you.
I don't know what it is. Yeah, I hear you 100% on it, of like trying to do, but because it was, I do love the fact that when I bring up the second move controller, it knows to grasp my hand and stuff like that.
I don't like that when you do that, you're like now having your hand float. Like this isn't
right.
Like, it was like my arms were a little sore afterwards. Just
and that's the trade-off, I think, to having a game that isn't just a shooter, right? It isn't. If it was just you're just shooting all the time. Yeah, let me use the, what is it?
The aim controller. Whatever. Use the aim controller, right? Like that makes sense for Borderlands. That makes sense for a number of Firewall, which we love. But yeah, if you want to have more interaction, you want, because like I the first time I was climbing on the poles and pulling myself up, I'm like, this is really cool.
Really cool.
And the other time where I was holding it and I was like, oh, and I accidentally dropped myself. I was like, damn, right? Yeah, this is the thing I have to do the entire time. Good stuff.
Yeah, the climbing stuff. When they first introduce it, and you're like, oh, huh. And then you go to, like, you can also grab your gun and shoot people, and it's just like, this is cool.
There's a lot of cool stuff in there. I really, like I said, and if you've beaten it, it's nothing, and it's not a spoiler. I think they're definitely leaving it in a way of like, cool, now we're going after the big people. So like, you hope that this did well enough. It seems like it's got enough juice behind it to get a second one out there and see what goes on. So, and do more cool stuff with it. I thought it'd be cool to have some kind of karate chop stealth attack from behind kind of thing. That'd be fun to mix it in a little bit more. But great game. I had a great time with it.
It doesn't feel like you could sneak. Well, I mean, when you
it would just be as like boom, like pulling over and getting there.
But when you have silent pistols, like it's not getting anyone's attention, so it is very much like the same thing, except for you
right. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think of Blood and Truth? Let us know in the comments below. If you're an audio listener, thank you so much for that. Consider going to patreon.com/kindafunnygames. You can post your comments there. Or I guess maybe you should just go to the YouTube video and post them there. Remember, if you listen on one platform, it's helpful to listen on the other, watch on the other, or vice versa, all that jazz.
Just go to Best Buy, turn them on everywhere. You know,
just go to Best Buy, do it. Yeah, there's got to be somebody who owns a server farm in China who can just do that. No, that's bad.
We'll get caught. Yeah.
Who's gonna get it? What do we get in trouble for?
I don't know. Telling them to do that. There's video proof of it.
Delete this video when you're done, everybody. This has been your secret mission, all right? This is the message will self-destruct. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, we're kind of funny. It's been our pleasure to serve you. Let me see the chat, Big Bear. I want to know what they thought of this. I want to know what you guys think of this one.
Just Jericho saying Mark Freeman, my dude.
Nice, look at that. Alex gets it. Since this is more of a podcast now, I'm playing Blood and Truth while listening to this. All right, Jericho says good show. Good job, you too. What do you guys want to see more of or less of in this show?
Tell us now. And we'll do it for the next show.
You only got the clock's ticking. You got 7 more fucking episodes to figure it out. What do you want to do next week?
Oh boy, next week, huh?
Yeah. Welcome to your life now. But you said Paula's crunching. You got time.
Yeah, you're right.
What do we have it on the books for? Trevor Saves the Universe?
Yeah.
I haven't done that one. Yeah, 100%.
I have it on my thing, and
Me too.
I'm real ready to jump into it.
Wednesday the 26th. Trevor Saves the Universe.
I'm very interested to hear your guys' thoughts on it.
Cool.
I'm a little more down on it than I thought I was going to be.
Oh, really? Do you have a VR?
No, I played it. You can play it just like regularly on the PS4.
It's not the way it's meant to be played.
Thank you, Mark.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like just
it's a big difference.
Adding VR, I don't think would make that game really any more interesting.
Well, that's why we don't.
Because it was more like the storytelling and shit like that.
Yeah, got him. Yeah. I'm kidding, Barrett. I love you.
Fuck off.
I love you, Boo Boo.
Barrett, no.
No, not you, Greg.
Okay,
Greg,
I'm okay.
Greg. Yeah,
Good.
you're cool.
Good.
Oh, what? So because you say shit behind his back?
Yeah. I do it like a respectful person, you know what I mean?
Nice, like the new friend.
Everybody seems they're happy with it. You got time to think about it. If you're watching later on demand, leave it on Patreon as well, what you thought, your little
We'll
comments.
never check.
I will. I just commented.
He will. I won't.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, but it was a good game. Like,
Yeah.
I really like the fact that they went through so many different things. Like when you're, what is this called? Parachuting? Parachuting.
Paragliding. Well, parachuting, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're parachuting.
I guess, yeah, it was parachuting. Yeah, you're right.
Also, did you find that every time you were running, you'd do this?
No.
Because I did.
I did not do that.
And I'd be like, Paula, because eventually she came home.
Yeah.
And it was around when you're jumping off that giant crane.
Yeah.
And I'm like, baby, look. She's like, that animation's terrible. And I was like, oh no, it's me doing that.
Jericho asked, are you editing some gameplay in or leaving it as a pure podcast? I kicked around the idea of editing some stuff. I've been
I feel like that
sharing.
won't translate well when it turns into a podcast.
My thought about it was...
I'll be damned if Cool Greg does 2 edits for this.
Well, it's 1 edit. I mean, I don't cut away. I just mean B-roll over us talking.
Oh.
My thought process was, because I was capturing my stuff last night and just saving it to the hard drive.
Oh, cool.
I was thinking, yeah, do it, but we won't do like, oh, I love when this, it's just gameplay over it. You know what I mean? We're just playing a level over it while we talk at certain points, maybe.
I think it'd be better if we actually search.
Yeah, it would be better for that, but like.
In which case, we'll just have Barrett do it. Barrett, you do it, right?
What?
Yeah, he's in.
Don't worry about it. All right. We got more stuff to do. We love you all.
Do we?
Yeah, the thing with the pizza's still happening, right?
Oh my God, I
And we
figured
have KFA for her.
You don't think that happened already?
No, I guarantee it didn't happen already.
I hate them so
Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, we love you so much.
I'm so tired.